Welcome to Smash House Video Gamers. I'm Zach Ryan, joined by Brendan Graber, IGN's resident Smash expert. Brendan, this morning we got treated to a Smash Direct where they revealed a new character, and that character is Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. The internet is certainly having some reactions about this character. Some people are very excited, other people are very disappointed. Let's talk a little bit about this character and what we think so far.
All the anime swordsmen and my Smash Brothers.
Right, so I guess that's pretty much the glaring question that we should answer out of the gate is, do we have too many Fire Emblem swordsmen in this game now? This is yet another character that has a similar moveset, maybe, a similar design, aesthetic, etc. Do we think that we have reached an oversaturation point?
I would say we're probably towing the line, but I think there's a very good reason for this.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, we had those Dante rumors and a lot of other rumors. So people are thinking, oh, it's going to be another wild card, random guest appearance, because the last ones were all, crazy guest appearances, but they never said that all of them would be. And I think one of the biggest reasons why Byleth actually makes sense is because last year of all the big Nintendo releases, Fire Emblem was the only one that really had a new character to show. If Luigi was so huge and different from Luigi, we might have had a Luigi as the next character, or maybe we'll get a Pokemon character in the next DLC batch. But I think that Byleth actually makes sense because if you look back in 2018, the month before the game came out, Sakurai had said, hey, the Nintendo has finalized all of the Smash DLC options. They sent me a list and I chose the ones that would work the best. So at that point, they're probably like, hey, we're making a new Fire Emblem game for the Switch.
Right.
At that point in 2018, we didn't really know much about it. So they're like, hey, he's gonna be the main character. When the game comes out, he said he played it beforehand to get a feel for who the character was. And then we didn't actually see anything until just now, but he recorded that back in November.
Right.
So they've been working on this for some time, and it makes sense that he was probably working on this since March, or even before that when Fire Emblem released. So I think that all along they had this plan of like, hey, we're gonna need some Nintendo characters from new games. We actually had Yoshi's Crafted World skin before the game came out because he was technically a new version. But other than that, there haven't been a lot of like new IP characters. So I think that really makes sense because if you look at the last Smash DLC character, way back for the Wii U, which was in 2015, I think, it was Corrin. That was before Fire Emblem Fates even came out. We're just like, hey, here's a new guy, don't know who he is, hope he's cool.
Right.
Now we're actually getting a character who we know, okay, yeah, he's kind of like, emotionally, Byleth is kind of like a
Strong silent type.
Strong silent type is a good word for it.
Well, and I think
but it's a popular game.
Yeah, and I think given the cadence of Smash releases, like it's not really any surprise that your conspiracy theory here would be put to the test. But I think that given that these characters roll out and obviously there is a pretty long work back for development, testing, fine-tuning, etc. What you're saying here in terms of timeline totally makes sense. I think a bigger question is, does it make sense for the overall roster, and are you, as a dedicated Smashman, interested in playing as another Smash Swords character, or as another Fire Emblem Swords character?
I'm glad you actually said sword character because beyond the, oh, he's an anime guy with the sword, he's actually
Or gal.
He's actually one of the first characters from Fire Emblem in Smash to not just use a sword.
Right.
Robin uses magic too, and Corrin uses dragon parts.
Right.
But Byleth's actually using the full weapon triangle.
Yeah, and the ability to use hero relics mapped to each of the directional buttons means that you've got a wider array of attacks and also distances, which I think is kind of interesting.
What's it called? Demonic distance?
Right, sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that actually sets him apart, not just from being another anime sword guy, but also like be making full use of Fire Emblem strength, which are the different weapons you can choose, and be able to see those play out with really cool looking attacks. And he plays different than everything else we've seen in the DLC, so he's not just like some Chrom Echo fighter who's like a cut and copy kind of character. So I think this is a really good lineup. From what we've seen, we did get our out of left field, never thought it would happen, Banjo-Kazooie's, Terry from Fatal Fury. Like, I think that we got a pretty good list, and having one character who's actually a Nintendo character that if Three Houses was released back with Breath of the Wild, we would have seen Byleth on the initial roster.
Sure. I think that it makes sense in terms of release cadence with property taken into consideration, right? Because like you're saying, like ultimately Smash is a Nintendo game. We're going to want to see Nintendo characters in that game. And given the characters that have been released recently, it makes sense that this character is a Nintendo
How about
character.
that DLC coming out later?
6 more characters coming down the line, right? So, Brendan, when can players get their hands on Byleth in Smash?
January 28th, along with the Garreg Mach Monastery
Right.
and some really good Fire Emblem music. Three Houses is great music, and I'm glad it's in the game.
Right around the corner, TLDR, do you think that Byleth is your new main in Smash?
He looks good. Fingers crossed. I like Ike too, so I wouldn't mind having more than one Fire Emblem main. I'd go with Byleth. Give him a shot.
I'm still Toon Link for life. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Zach, this is Brendan, and for everything Smash, keep it right here on IGN.